Have you ever looked around in your life and thought about how the hell did I end up here? Have you ever envisioned a life for yourself and thought, well, that's not where I'm at. So like, what the hell is happening? Have you ever been in a situation like this and been slightly dramatic about it? You see the name drop. You see the name drop that I just did there. Yeah. Yeah. So, welcome to the podcast, Slightly Dramatic. This is my first episode, and I'm going to speak about a few things. Also, from time to time, I'm also going to be looking at my notes because, bruh, I cannot memorize all of this. Like, I need to, like, look at the whole structure and whatnot. By the way, the start was my hook. If you did not get on that, that was my hook. So, welcome to Slightly Dramatic. This is going to be my podcast where I unpack messy truths of life, try to be funny about it, and also speak about very confusing journey of becoming everything that you wanted to be in your 20s, but now you're in your 30s and you're just like, oh, wait, shit. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And then you had to like become everything that you wanted to be in your 30s, and that's kind of better because you feel like you know better, you feel like you're a bit more confident about yourself, and then you sort of care less enough to like actually be doing the things that you thought that you would be doing in your 20s. So that's what this podcast is going to be about. What I'm actually going to speak about in elaboration to this, and just to give you a breakdown, are some orientation points. Yes, I did my research on how to script, guys. Genius. I'm just going to give you a bit of a background on what this podcast is going to be about and where I'm at my life right now. Why am I saying that I'm starting at 30 again? And why is my podcast called Slightly Dramatic, and what that means to me, and what this podcast is going to be for you and for me as well, in like the bigger picture of things. All right, so cue the next segment. So why I'm starting over at 30? Like, why do I think I'm starting over at 30? Now, where do I start? Where do I begin? Everyone knows that your 20s is basically the years where you're just trying to figure everything out. You finish university and then you're just dropped into the ocean and you're just like, now go swim, go live your life. And yeah, it's not always the best experience. Like maybe for some of us it's been really great. I think more than the whole concept of it being really great, it's just that you're still trying to figure out so much with like you're so used to going to school and you're so used to going to college and it being such a fun experience, and then you get into corporate and it's a whole different experience, right? So you're trying to figure out, okay, I'm in corporate, do I like it, do I not, am I good at it, how am I going to improve at it? And even if it's not corporate, it's just anything that you're doing in your 20s, right? So your 20s is a lot of figuring all of that out, and it can really be so many ups and downs at the same time. I was also someone who was trying to figure out what I was trying to do in my 20s. I joined corporate. I was not the most confident in my job. I was really confused about whether I was doing the right thing, whether I was approaching it the right way, whether I was in the right country for the job that I was doing. I do human resources. I was in Kuwait, and Kuwait is very different with human resources than it is viewed on the in other Western countries, and it really put a lot of thought into my head of what I'm trying to do. At some point in my mid 20s, little late 20s or whatever, between that range, I felt a lot more confident in my job and I was actually happy with the things that I was doing. I thought I was doing quite well with my job and I knew that there was a lot of space for improvement. But I felt like I was capable of way more than I actually thought I ever was capable of. Ultimately, I did enjoy what I was doing. I got the fancy job and I reached a certain peak at my job role, and I started driving in Kuwait, which was amazing because, like, listen, driving in Kuwait is just chef's kiss, okay? I got the whole Kuwait experience before I left, and I will not shut up about it. And ultimately, by 28, 29, I was like, okay, listen now, I need to move for whatever reason. I have always felt that, okay, yes, I was born, raised in Kuwait, everything's here, great in Kuwait, I have everything, everything is sorted, it's a peaceful life. But there was just something in me that I was just like, but this is not where I belong at the moment. Like, I need to go out. I need to be in a different place. There's so many things that I want to do that I felt like I was not able to do in Kuwait for whatever reason. But I've been trying to get out of Kuwait for a very long time. And then ultimately at 29, I decided, you know what? I'm going to pack bag and move to the UK. And now I'm here. And it was a crazy experience. You know, Listen, and for the people who are going to be like, yeah, people who go to war, I get it. Okay, but I'm seeing about my experience here because there have been people who have come at me for this, and I'm just like, there's literally someone who's like, oh, if you think this is too much, what do you think our parents went through? Sir, get off my freaking Instagram. What? So you have these type of people as well. But regardless, moving from your country and trying to settle in a whole different country is a task of its own. And it's one thing when you go there, you go to a country. Let's say if you pick a job and then you go to a country, like you get this job and they're paying you well and they sort your scene out and you don't really need to worry about your visa because you already are on one. Okay, it's easier. But when you go as a student, what? It's insane because the number of things we as international students are trying to do is just insane. One, you're trying to do your assessments. Okay, no, first thing. Let's okay, no, let that be the first thing. You're trying to do your assessments, okay? And this is a whole new queue because in India, though, we don't do assessments and all. We buy hard shit and we have exams. Here, you're trying to do your assessments, okay? And you're trying to figure out like what the hell is this research nonsense? Like you're just like, and it's great. Like I really think it's a good way of like doing an education, like doing your research and finding out things. I think it really helps you with your critical thinking and like just gives you a better idea of what you're actually doing in your subject, right? So I really liked it. Apart from that, you're like, okay, part time job. Oh, but now I'm an international student, so I need more prospects on my CV. So then I need to pick up another thing, which was TEDx Aston University. My god, 9 months of that. It was a great experience, not gonna lie, all of that, but it was a lot on my plate. At the same time, make new friends and socialize and make sure you're trying to do some other activities as well. I was a walking zombie for at least a year. Like more than a year to be honest. I was a year and a half, bruh. I don't know how I jumbled it up, but it was it's not like I'm complaining, but life is hard. When you pack up and you decide that you're going to be a student, you're going to be starting from scratch. It's hard. And then when you realize that every other day there's a new headline speaking about how much more harder they're going to make it for immigrants to stay in the country, you're just like, should I just shoot myself in the leg? Like, just what the hell? What the hell is happening? And it can be really frustrating. There was so many points where I literally had breakdowns thinking, what am I going to do after these 2 years? I don't know. And there's still so much that is on my plate just so that I can make myself, you know, fit into whatever I'm trying to fit into. But it's just a lot. Like, it really is. But I think I did come to this realization, hey, you know what? Everything's packed up now. You are where you are. You have decided on this. And you can sit here and be like, damn, what the hell am I going to do? Which is still a very valid question and which is something that I still work on. But also I just realized, hey, you packed and you're out of the country and you can do whatever the hell it is that you want. All these things that you have wanted to do in your 20s but you never did, you can do it now. Like, I have nothing to lose. I'm in a whole new country. Nobody knows me here. And I can, honestly, I feel like one of the best things for me of moving is that I can 100% be myself. It's not that I was not myself. At least with my friends, I was myself in Kuwait and stuff. But there was still something that was very, like, Kuwait made me feel like my high school self. And I didn't really like that. It made me feel like, I just felt like I wasn't able to put myself out there more. I didn't like being seen because everyone knows everyone in the country. And it just felt very awkward for me. But to be in the UK and realize you're here now, you should do as much as you can in terms of opportunity because you're not going to walk into anyone and they're not going to be like, oh my god, I saw your vlog. Oh my god, vlogger, content creator. It's so weird. And I was like, you're never going to have to face that in the UK. So like, just go for it, man. And I did. And I'm here now. It's been a year that I've been doing this and I'm really happy about it. Of course, it felt quite directionless at some point and that's why I took my break, which is going to be another episode. But I really had to. I was like, you know what? If you're going to start over in your 30s, start it over right. This is such a big opportunity for me in terms of like just doing the things that I want to do. And I'm absolutely very happy about this perspective change in myself. And this is why I really think I'm starting in my 20s. I feel like life has come like full circle for me, especially completing my education at 21, 23, whatever, and having that experience, and then to come back 10 years later and then be done with my education, and then to have this ability or this freedom of like just reinventing myself and doing things that I did not probably have the courage to do before, I think is such a bonus for me. So yeah, I am starting over in my 30s and I'm super excited about it. Second part of the podcast is gonna be I don't know how people do this without looking like they are confused. The second part of my podcast is what slightly dramatic actually means to me. So, why I chose the name slightly dramatic. Now, okay. I'm sweating. I'm sweating. But funny story. Okay, it's not that funny, but I'll try to make it funny. I have been known to be a very dramatic person. Okay. And I've had like, so before I came up with the podcast, I was thinking of names and I did come up with a couple of names, but slightly dramatic made so much sense to me because when I was in my university, um I, I, for 3 years, you do the whole birthday celebration things, and on the birthday cake you sort of happy birthday, whatever. And for 3 years, I got happy birthday drama queen. Yeah, I was quite the drama queen. Now, I don't mean drama queen that I'm someone who like, throw things around and be like crazy or something. But I'm also someone who, like, for the slightest thing, I will go on and on about it. I'm like, how dare they? Okay. And I've had people be like, oh my god, here she goes again. Or, people tell me, like, oh, you're too much. Or can you just stop? Like, it's not that deep or whatever. But I'm just someone who's that way. I am quite dramatic in how life happens to me, and that's just how I am. And at some point, with the number of people telling me this, I tried to like play it down, and I was just like, oh my god, I don't want to be seen as too much. But now I'm like, you know what, like, if I was being dramatic and if I had to sit down and think about the things that I was being dramatic about, I was being dramatic about very valid things. Okay. And when I'm being dramatic, I'm also being funny. I'm not trying to like bring the world down with me, bro. Like, I'm just trying to like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just when I sit down and I think about the things that I've been dramatic about, it's primarily because I literally care about those things. And if someone has to say that I'm too much about it, it's because, yeah, I do care too much about something. And if you don't give a rat's ass about it, please walk away, because I really do not want to explain myself to you anymore. And when I was younger, I didn't have that sort of energy in me. I was like, oh my god, I am too much. I need to stop right now. But now I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm too much. What do you want me to do now? I am too much. What can happen? What can I do? Nothing. So for that reason, I have just come to the conclusion, yeah, I do care too much about things. And yeah, I take things very seriously. If that's a problem, anyone who has a problem that can, like, there's the door. There's the door. But ultimately, I've come to the conclusion that, yeah, I am slightly dramatic. And I do love that about myself. And if I can be slightly dramatic or dramatic with you as a person, bro, I absolutely love you then. Like, I must be so comfortable with you to be that dramatic person that I am. Because if not, then I'm just like probably not the most comfortable in that room. But like, if I can be dramatic and be all crazy about my emotions and like speak my mind without being given a solution, then those are my favorite type of people who I can be dramatic with. But yeah, ultimately it came down to I just give a shit. And so that's the reason I've called my podcast Slightly Dramatic, because I am going to be slightly dramatic about a lot of things. Maybe a little more dramatic than slightly, or a little less, who knows. But that's why I called it my podcast, because I have been a 3-year winner at being a drama queen. And I like being slightly dramatic. I like caring about the things that everyone talks about and cares about and what's happening in my life. I give a shit. Okay, I give a shit. I'm sorry if that's a problem to you, but I give a shit. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Okay, and what this podcast is going to be about. Now, I don't want this podcast to just be stories about my life because I'm not here to reveal too much about my life as well. I'm going to keep a little bit like secretive only. But I also feel like everyone does have a story or an experience to share. And I really think, social media platforms have made it a very nice place to build community in terms of relatability or just shared experiences, or maybe if you just need a change in perspective. Like there's this one guy, I do not remember what his Instagram handle is, but he goes around asking people about their opinions on certain things. But some of the things that people say are really profound, or they really do give you a shift in perspective when it comes to certain things in life. And I really like that social media can do that for you. And sometimes when you feel like you're down in the dumps and you see that people are going through the same shit, you're just like, yes, I'm not the only one, because if you feel like you're the only one who's going through it, which can never really be true, because let's face it, like there are a billion people around the world. There has to be so many people who are going through the same thing as you as a person are. But the feeling that that people are going through the same, it's like a universal experience, is always better than feeling like you're kind of in this alone. And then to like have social media as a platform to like sort of express this, and to be, I love the idea of being relatable. I love the comfort in relatability. There's a lot of comfort to it. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that with this podcast, I want to be relatable. I want people who are transitioning in life, or someone who just wants a good laugh, or maybe who's just bored at night and is just looking it up, and I can maybe make you laugh a bit. That'd be great. If you're going through a lot of things, and if you want to just speak about universal truths or universal feelings, universal experiences, this podcast is for you. I am going to be trying to focus on. I'm not picking a niche. I am not picking a niche. So many people say, oh my god, you need to pick a niche. And sorry, my accent and my English has left the building. But everyone's like, you need to pick a niche, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know what to pick. And I really do not want to put myself in a box. I really don't want to. I want to speak about anything and everything under the sun. I want to speak about, shit. What do I want to speak about? Anything. About movies, about TV shows that I watch, about people, about relationships, about friendships, about growing in the Gulf and, moving, and the sort of experiences that you have every 2 years, and astrology, maybe, why not? So I just want to speak about anything and everything. Okay, that's just what this podcast is going to be about. So if you feel that you are someone who is going through a transition phase, or you just want to have like a very chill conversation, this podcast is for you. I'm going to look at my conclusion because I feel like I'm rambling. Okay, yeah, I was right on spot. Amazing. Okay, so for all the people out there who are slightly dramatic, just slightly dramatic, and you tend to care about just anything and everything in the world, and maybe people have told you, hey, you're too much, hey, it's not that deep, you know, tell them to, okay, this podcast is for you. This was my first episode. I do hope you enjoyed it. To be honest, I'm very nervous, I'm very excited, and I'm feeling quite honestly dramatic about this whole thing. But I really do hope you enjoy these episodes. I do have a lot more episodes coming up. I am going to speak about a lot of things. So if you like this, do comment what you liked. If you didn't like something, do comment what you didn't like. If you have some suggestions on topics that you would like to talk about, or topics that you would like to go on about, let me know, and I could probably look into it as well. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching my first episode. So much love for you for watching. And yes, thank you so much for watching Slightly Dramatic. I am Cheryl Vensamatis, and I am signing off. I don't know. I don't know. I'm signing off. Bye.